Okay, y'all, we're gonna start this one. I got an 87 Ford Ranger. 87 Ford Ranger here. It's got 94,000 miles on it. It's a manual transmission. Manual transmission, 2.9 liter, 6-cylinder in it. That was pretty cool. Did that one. 2.9 liter, 6-cylinder. There's no spark. Okay. This problem's going to be a no spark problem. I did go in here and change the coil, the ignition coil. You can't see nothing. Changed the ignition coil. That was not it. I changed the modulator on the distributor. That was not it. So now we've got to figure out what it actually is. There's a series of steps we're going to go through and see if we can figure it out. But it's a little thing I bought to basically sell it. So I'm going to fix it and sell it. First I got to find out what's wrong with it because I have no clue. I figured it was the ignition coil. It is not. It's spinning over fast. Almost like it's the timing chain possibly. But I don't think it is because the distributor is actually turning. If you look inside, take the distributor cap off and look, the rotor is turning. So I don't think it's the timing chain. Could very well be the timing chain. But if it was the timing chain, I don't think the distributor would turn. Now, at least I usually work on these things. Okay. So if it's anything like these behind me, the distributor won't turn. But I don't know much about a Ford, to be honest with you. So we'll figure it out and tell you what we come up with and show you a little along the way. Okay, y'all. So on further notice here, somebody's put a brand new distributor in it. I thought it might be this. This is a TFI, I believe is what it's called. Anyway, it's electronic ignition is what it is. So I thought it might be this. So I bought a new electronic ignition, put it in there. That didn't do nothing. So I just pulled a distributor. I didn't pull the distributor. I pulled the distributor cap where I could see down in there real good, and everything seems to be working. I do have a mirror here where I looked up in the bottom there to see where this thing connects, and all that's brand new, just like I figured. This cap is laying in the back of the truck. This distributor cap. This cap is brand new. It's had a little water in it, but it's brand new. The cap that's on there is dirty. But this wire right here, this wire is obviously a ground wire. It's black with an orange stripe. Well, I was looking around, and right here is the other end. Somebody has cut it off. Okay? Well, when they cut it off, they put an end on it, and they tied it to this, whatever this is. It's another black wire, but it's obvious that it don't go to that because it's 10 miles long. So they had this connector on there and hooked it to it. So I was going to check it, but I can't because I've got both of these out. So I've got to put this one back in there so we can check it. I don't have to put the distributor and all, I mean the rotary button and the distributor cap and all that in there because I'm checking it over here on the coil itself. See if I can get some light over here. The ignition coil's over here. So I'm checking it with a test light or a spark light, whatever you want to call it, spark meter, checker, whatever, over there against ground, and that should tell me what I need to know. And I got a starter switch out here so I can turn the motor over. So I can do everything from out here. I don't have the ignition switch on right now, but I can turn the ignition switch on, and that should tell me everything. So I'm going to put this piece back in and see if that ground wire was the problem, see if they had it grounded out somehow. I do have a series of tests to go through, and I was going to do that, but it says I need a TFI tester, which I don't have. And I tested the grounds and all on it, like the ohms between them, and both of them are testing the exact same. And one of them's brand new, so you know if one, you would think. Now, this has bit me in the ass again because I have assumed the wrong things. But you assume if one of them, if the new one you just bought is testing good, the other one is probably good too because it's testing the same exact way. So there's probably going to be a screw up in the wiring somewhere. That's why they changed the distributor and they changed everything, chasing it, and they hadn't found it yet. So this is going to be a little pain in the ass probably. I'm going to have to search around and figure it out. But I got the pinball wizard, and he's good with wiring, and I got a schematic on this thing, so I don't think I've got any worries. It might be the computer in the truck, but I don't know. We'll keep looking and figure it out and let y'all know what it is when we get there. But the little truck's a good little truck. It's not beat all to hell. It's a decent little truck, so I'll get it fixed up and get it running here. A little 6-cylinder. Somebody should love it. Little Detroit Montgomery Motors. Come out of North Carolina. It's been in North Carolina its whole life. I know the guy that his dad bought it. I'm assuming he bought it. No, he's probably watching this video. But anyway, we'll dig into it a little more. It's got new tires and all on it. He claimed it was running and just shut off on him. So we'll see. We'll figure it out, and I'll let you know something.
Well, Donnie called us, said his Ford Ranger don't work. So we're headed up to pick him up in the G-Mobile. What's her name? Belle. Belle's going with us. All right, we'll go see if we can. Pick him up. He's stranded. His Ford Ranger broke. Do you know if Ford Rangers break a lot or not? I've never messed with one.
It's a Ford.
Oh no! Now you know the only people that's going to be watching this video are Ford people because it says Ford Ranger in the title.
Well, they know then.
Oh, okay. All right, we made it. But it's a nice little truck. Got the burl wood. They're out there messing with the fuel. Oh shit! Wants us to push the clutch. Push the clutch. All right. All right, we're working on it. All right, folks. So Donnie has been working on this Ford Ranger. What year are we looking at, Donnie?
87.
87 Ford Ranger.
90,000 original miles.
We've been messing with it a little bit after I got here on the G-Mobile. We found a thing online where a gentleman's telling you how to test it and to walk right through it, and he's showing you the simple little way to test it. So talk to him, Donnie. Now, you got to talk loud, Donnie. Our CNC machine is going on in the background.
Okay, y'all, they tell you to take and check this terminal, the outside terminal.
That's ground.
Against the ground. Okay, the back of the...
Wait a minute, you're blown out. So this is the TFI module.
Yeah, check the end one here against the ground. Now, if you notice, this bottom one here is the only one that's got a ground lobe.
Yeah.
So, if you only put that top screw in there, it won't work.
Mm-hmm.
So let me say that again. This bottom one is the only one that's got ground. So if you only put that top screw in there, it will not work.
That's if you're testing. Now, you would never drive it with just one screw in.
Never try that. But then you test from here
So that's,
to here.
that's ground, basically.
This is ground.
And you can test these modules out of the car by just checking the resistance between the terminals and that ground.
And all these plugs in here.
Okay, when we did that, this is the original one. When we did that on the original one, the wire that goes to the coil negative was open. It wasn't connected in any shape or fashion to the ground through resistance through this TFI module. And we haven't worked on a ton of Fords like this, so this is new to us, you know.
So you basically, you need to check all them against the ground, and if they've got some kind of resistance, you're good.
Well, yeah, pretty much.
Pretty much. If you got one that's open, it's bad.
Yeah.
So we found one that was open. So we went ahead and we changed this.
Yeah.
And when I changed it, it goes in there like so.
Basically, that big plate there is for heat, and it also attaches it to the distributor, which is how it gets its ground.
I didn't get this bottom bolt tight. Okay, I put this one in tight where it wouldn't move around, and I got that one in there, I thought, and you know, I turned it about 100 times and it never tightened up, so I figured it was stripped out, so I left it alone, and it wouldn't fire. So then this morning when I showed y'all this wire here, this black with the I guess that's orange stripe, and you can see the same wire there, black with the orange stripe. So they had it connected down here with some
Little rinky-dink butt connector. They call them butt connectors, and I think that's a good name for it.
So I'm thinking, what the hell is that doing? It should be over here. So I pulled it loose to see if that was grounding that out. Well, we finally figured out that this was bad. And after we figured out this was bad, put that in there, there's a step where you can take that, I think it's the 4th wire. You can ground it out. It's a little red wire.
You're basically grounding the ignition, the coil ground, and each time you do that, it should
fire the coil.
Yeah, fire the coil.
So we fired the coil, and then we knew for sure it was this. That means all the wiring and all was good. So then I had spark, but I didn't have fire. I mean, I had spark, but I didn't have gas. So then I go to looking, why don't I have gas? And I got to remembering, I ain't heard the fuel pump.
Yep.
So this wire, if you hook it back to whatever they got it hooked to there, that's the fuel pump relays. That turns on the fuel pump. So that makes it run. So if you want a cheap way, a cheap security system,
just unhook your fuel pump.
Unhook that wire there, and that will unhook your fuel pump, and you won't be able to run with it.
Now, is that going to run? Surely that's on switched.
Yeah, that's switched.
They haven't rigged this up, have they?
Well, that's ground.
Okay.
So that, what I'm going to do, it should be grounded at starter solenoid. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to shred a little piece here, hook it into there, and then go back to here. That's probably how it was to begin with anyway.
Because they've got it on the battery.
They got it just hooked straight to the battery, and there's 2 wires hooked there.
Donnie, you're bleeding.
Yeah.
That's how you know you're about to fix the thing. Whenever you start bleeding, you're probably about there.
You're getting close at that point. But now we can start it up here and let y'all listen to it. But it's going to run a little rough because stuff like that, the vacuum lines are open.
All right, so he thinks that's going to turn on his fuel pump. We got the new TFI sensor in, which we believe was the original problem. We've got the fuel pump plugged in. There you go. She stalled on you, Donnie, but
I figured it's going to stall and carry on because these vacuum lines are open. I got to get these plugged off and get them reconnected, and then it should work.
We got to run some vacuum lines to get it where you know, all that's working right. Well, that's pretty good. So we learned a little bit about a Ford Ranger.
Learned a little bit here.
I'll be honest with you folks. We haven't ever really driven these because they're a little smaller trucks. We're big guys, you know. We're tall, and we like big trucks. So we never drove a Ford Ranger. We never really messed with them. But I like it. I like anything this vintage. Look at him. Look what he just did, people. Now, who else would have thought of that? This is the type of stuff I'm always talking about. I wouldn't have even thought to do that.
Okay, let's try it again, y'all.
You see what he did? He cut a little bit of those off, slid it over to... Oh, my. Unbelievable. I think you got it, Donnie.
There it is, it's running.
Might need a tune-up. I think it's got some bad gas in it. He's going to adjust the throttle a little bit, get the idle up.
Just a little bit of throttle there. There it is, she's up and running. And they say on these, what is that, TB, whatever?
TFI.
TFI, these little modules, they say you got to have a special 5.5 millimeter. You do not.
We need to go tell them about that and the price.
You need a deep well, 730 seconds.
730. Let's go outside where they can hear us and we'll tell them about the price. Did you mention that yet?
No.
Oh yeah, we got to tell you about this. You see it's running, right? We'll let it sit there for a little bit. It's in neutral, but we've got the wheels chocked. We'll go out here where you can hear us a little better. I can't believe people have been calling you soft-spoken.
I don't know why.
That would not be the word I'd use to describe Donnie. All right, Donnie. So did you tell him where you got the truck?
I told him I got it from a guy.
We bought it from a gentleman. Got a good deal on it, and
he watches all of our videos.
he watches all of our videos. He had an extra truck he needed to sell. Donnie bought it from him, not running, hauled it down here on a trailer. And like I said, we don't really mess with Fords all that much of this vintage, and we don't mess with the Rangers just because we drive the full-size ones. We've never really driven. We'd be more likely to buy an F-150 than to buy a
We're scared
Ranger.
to get in these little trucks because if somebody hits us, we're such big, we're going to get killed. So we ain't getting in no little trucks.
So we just don't really know on them, but Donnie's pretty handy with trucks. So we run into this little sucker. Now, why would you suspect that, Donnie?
Well, everybody on the internet says the 2.9s, these are horrible about going out. So everybody's talking about it. So I figured it was probably this.
Okay, so we look it up, and how much did they tell you at the parts store that part was?
$160.
$160. So I look around a little bit, and the cheapest I can find it, like on eBay, is like $120, something like that. Okay, so then I go to Rock Auto.
Rock Auto.
Rock Auto.
Rock Auto.
Great website, you know, and they have less expensive parts. Now, the ones that they're saying are $120 are aftermarket. It's not like it's from Ford or nothing. It's just aftermarket. Go to Rock Auto. Rock Auto gives you several different part numbers. So their prices are more like $30. Okay? So then you take the part number that Rock Auto has and you search for it on eBay. $8.
$8.
So the $8 on eBay. Now I'm sure it ain't the freaking OEM.
But it's close enough to make it run.
$8, and the one at the parts store is $120 to $160. That's just absolutely ridiculous.
Absurd.
But we got it in there and it's running. Now it may not be the right one. Maybe there's different ones because there were different part numbers. So there may be different ones that have different whatever mojos in them. But
they say that that rotor and cap and all on there, except for 4-cylinder or 6-cylinder.
Yeah.
The rotor in it.
So
So
I don't know.
I don't know.
We're learning, people. So, but we did get it up and running. So we're going How do you think? Probably needs to be tuned up though.
Probably needs to be tuned up.
A little tune up. Let's mess with it a little bit more and get her going.
Get her going and get her out.
So
Slap
there
her
you
on
go.
the ass
So
and gone.
So the recap of the problem. We think the original problem was bad. There's a connection between ground and the ignition coil connection. The ground on the ignition coil that connects in here. Whatever the resistance was between the two of those was shot, so that wasn't working. And then whenever Donnie installed another one, it wasn't getting a good ground because he didn't have the bolt all the way in tight.
Yeah,
We didn't realize, right? But we figured it out. And then also there was a couple minor things that it looked like maybe they had been chasing the problem a little bit or something, or trying some other things. So, and then just tune-up stuff where it's been sitting a while. So it's running a little rough, but it's probably, fuel's been sitting in it for, what did he say, a year or so?
Yep.
Maybe a year or so there's been fuel sitting in it, so.
And this ethanol fuel nowadays, they don't last no time.
Yeah, ethanol will start deteriorating on you. So we think that's what it was. And there you go. Well, pretty good, Donnie.
Yo,
Did you learn something?
We always learn something.
Yeah.
There ain't enough damn clearance in a Ford is what I learned.
we like doing these videos because, you know, maybe somebody else that likes our channel will see it and they'll think maybe they know about Fords or maybe they don't know. And now they'll go, hey, yeah, that might's kind of neat.
Yeah, but they say this is the major problem on all these.
I've heard that it's a good idea to mount it remotely.
Yes, I've heard that too.
To put it somewhere else.
But, oh well.
So
we did what we did.
We got the truck up and running. We'll get it running a little better, and then we'll get out and drive it a little bit.
All right, y'all. If you like what you see, give us a thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, and we'll catch you on the next one.